Math 1332, Chapter 3, Symbolic Logic, Section 1, Statements and Quantifiers, Video 8, Translating Symbols to Words. For the remainder of this video, use the following simple statements to translate each compound statement into words. P, I have money. Q, I have a car. R, I have a girlfriend. Let's start with A. P, disjunction Q. Disjunction being the one that points down, like that. Well, this is pretty straightforward. All we have to do is find the connective, which is right in the middle, translate it, and then translate the things on both sides, and maybe see if there's a more efficient way to say that statement. So let's just literally read P and Q statements. And when we get to the disjunction, what word is that? Or. So it would sound something like this. I have money, or I have a car. Yes, it was that easy. I have money, or I have a car. Now, if you're wondering what this or in parentheses is, it's saying, or here's a different way to say the answer. So is there a more compact way to say I have money or I have a car? Well, the only difference in the two simple statements is the objects of those sentences. I have money, I have car. And since the subject and verb I have match, we can just say them once and put the connective between the objects. So we could say, I have money or a car. Pretty straightforward. All right, let's try the next one with the negation. Don't let it bother you. Focus on the connective. It's the conjunction, the one that points up, which looks like a letter A, which is for the word and. So we're going to say and when we get to this, but let's focus on what the negation of Q would say. Q is I have a car, so either I have a car or I don't have a car. I don't have a car and I have a girlfriend. I don't have a car and I have a girlfriend. Now, how could we possibly say that differently? Remember in the previous video when I said that but and were kind of the same, and I wasn't quite sure when to say the best time to say but is this, but the best time to say and is that. And it dawned on me that the best time to say it is when one of the statements has a negative connotation, the other one has a positive. I don't have a car, I do have a girlfriend. So we could say, I don't have a car, but I do have a girlfriend, which was true for me in high school. Had a girlfriend, but I didn't have a car. All right, let's take a look at the next one. Ooh, it's all that stuff. Anyway, same simple statements. P is I have money, Q is I have a car, R is I have a girlfriend. C, R points to P. Well, the arrow is the conditional, and remember that the conditional translates to the phrase if then. So it's the split conditional. You say if, first statement, then second statement. So that should be pretty straightforward. If I have a girlfriend, then I have money. That is the literal translation. If I have a girlfriend, then I have money. Is there a different way to read this? Well, remember in the previous video, we had the example where the order was switched and the word then was implied but not stated. So if we did that, if we switched it and removed the word then, it would say, I have money if I have a girlfriend. Just saying, it's a statement. All right. Oh my goodness. Of course you knew this was going to happen. All right, well, let's take a look at the next one and think about it carefully. It's got a lot of negations, but that shouldn't really bother you because the negations are on individual simple statements. It's whenever there's a negation in front, like this guy down here. 1 second. Can't get it to do what I want it to do. It's only when there's a negation in front of a parentheses where you have to proceed with caution. Whenever you have a negation in front of a simple statement, even if it's 3 times over, that's not that bad. That just means we have to negate all 3 statements. All right. This does have 2 connectives. It has the conjunction in the parentheses and the arrow afterwards. And remember what we said about having two conjunctions. If there's one in parentheses and one outside the parentheses, two connectives. There's one in parentheses, one outside parentheses. The one outside is the primary connective. So we're going to make this an if-then statement. So we're going to start by saying the word if. Then we got to say all this, which is really not as bad as it seems if you remember that this means and. So if, negation P, if I don't have money and I don't have a car, then I don't have a girlfriend. The straight up literal translation. If I don't have money and don't have a car, then I don't have a girlfriend. Where have I heard that before? Oh yeah, I think those are lyrics to the Young MC song Bust a Move. Not a literal translation, but you know, you can be a little bit flexible with your choice of words when you're translating. All right, let's go to, let's see, I'm missing something here. Where'd my stylus had disappeared. E. Let's see, we got a parentheses, and outside the parentheses, we have a double-headed arrow. So we're going to build our sentence around this phrase, excuse me, or the phrase for the biconditional, which is if and only if. We do have some parentheses, so we might want to think about putting a comma in our answer, preceding, or rather following the primary connective. All right, so let's see if we can read this. I have a girlfriend if and only if I have money and I have a car. Let's see. I have a girlfriend if and only if I have both a car and money. All right, so I got the car and the money in the reverse order. So if we want to be literal about it, then we would need to put money first and then car second. But as a statement, a conjunction, a statement formed with an and, is reversible. So that's forgivable. All right. Now this last one, we have a negation preceding a parentheses, and inside the parentheses, we have a compound statement. Do you remember how to translate a negation when it preceded a compound statement that was in parentheses? That was with the phrase, it is not the case that. So let's go ahead and review that part. It is not the case that. Then you just have to rattle off whatever's inside the parentheses, which should be pretty simple. I have money and negation, I do not have a car. So let's see what's underneath here. It is not the case I have money but not a car. All right, there's another instance of where using the word but is a good idea. When you have a conjunction, but one of the statements is in the positive and one is in the negative, I want to be careful not saying a negation and a non-negation, because if a statement is negative, then its negation is positively oriented. But in this case, P is I have money, Q is I don't have a car, so that would be a good time for a but. It is not the case that I have money but not a car. Can they get more complicated than this? Well, honestly, not really. The only thing I could do is throw in more letters and more parentheses, but then we're just getting into overkill and theoretical madness. For our purposes, the translation shouldn't be any trickier than any of these. So is this the last video in this series for this? Hey, this was. I'm looking at my list of videos. Not that you need to see it, but you know, since you're watching, and maybe you're still watching, maybe you're not. If I can get back to the Zoom for a second. Let me do a quick share just to show you that I got a lot of videos to do. I've just done this one, translating symbols to words. And this was just the first section in chapter 3, which has 5 sections. This next one's going to take some time. They don't get much shorter until the end, but that's typically how these goes. So yeah, you didn't need to see all that, but I have no secrets. I have nothing to hide. All right, well, hopefully you enjoyed this video and even my little train of thought there. But have a good day and contact me if you have any questions. If you're not in my class and want to contact me, just leave a message below in the comments.